Welcome to the Soapbox Sessions. Imagine this, an open and free internet where voices are never silenced, where causes aren't shadow banned, and where no one can be deplatformed. It's real, it's here, and it's happening on Nostr. So what exactly is Nostr? It's a worldwide community of everyday people working to decentralize the internet. On Nostr, you can build websites, communities, social networks, apps, and more. One login works everywhere, you own it, and no one can take it away. No more juggling dozens of platforms, chasing audiences, or managing a giant password list. And the cherry on top? Nostr allows for built-in digital payments that can come from anywhere in the world. On Nostr, value flows as freely as ideas. We're hooked on decentralizing the web, and we think you will be too. So now, let's hear from your hosts, Derek Ross and Heather Larson, who are working to grow Nostr one vibe at a time.
Welcome back to Soapbox Sessions. Today is November 18th, 2025, and we're here with your weekly dose of all things decentralized social and AI. Soapbox Sessions is our soapbox about what's new, what's cool, and what's coming. We want to make it easy to understand and keep up with everything happening in the decentralized world of social communication and AI as we work to rebuild the internet. Hi, Heather.
What's up, Derek? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm a little tired.
I was gonna say, let me see what's under the eyes. Are we good there? We got
the eyes are a little baggy.
Some Louis Vuittons under there, brother.
It's been 4 days of
Vanity.
5 days? 4 or 5 days of not a lot of sleep.
Divine insanity.
Define or dViine? Define insanity?
Right? That's how much sleep he's had, folks. This is going to be a good one. Going to be a banger of an episode.
No, it is going to be a banger of an episode. We have a lot to talk about, a lot of fun and exciting stuff to talk about, as Heather kind of just teased.
Good life.
The app dViine is making all sorts of headlines over the past few days. And it's trending on, all the social medias and all on legacy social media. It's blowing up on like the evening news and mainstream media. It's absolutely wild.
That's so weird to me.
And why are we talking about this on a podcast about decentralization? I don't know. Maybe I do know. That's why I haven't been sleeping for 4 or 5 days, because we're working on it.
Been privy to the behind the scenes dViine action here, and so
yeah.
We're not going to give you any behind the scenes info, okay? We're not breaking any news stories here, but it is warranted that we talk about it, because if what are we, like 12, 13 episodes into Soapbox Sessions? We've been talking about Nostr, we've been talking about decentralization and AI, and, dViine is just the thing to connect all the dots and bring it all together, Derek, right?
Absolutely. So we've wanted Nostr to go mainstream and catch on, and for people to understand its importance and take off. But, we've had a lot of slow growth over the past couple years,
and I should say that we've been doing this for that years.
Killer app.
Yeah, we want the killer. Like, you've been in this for 3 years. I've been in this for 2 years. Like, we want this to take off. Like, it's not for lack of trying.
We're finally going to have that moment, I think. If the hype is anything, as a leading indicator.
It's weird to be in it, and like we can't see it from the outside. So like, we can't make an accurate prediction. But we're living in this thing.
It is crazy when you're getting text messages and DMs, and you're hanging out with friends or family, and they're all talking about the thing that you're working on and burning the midnight oil, helping to develop and code.
It's surreal.
And I'm just kind of like, guys, that I'm working on that, right? Like,
oh God, you told
this
people
is
that?
like, yeah, I did.
I didn't tell people. I told my cousin, I was like, don't you tell anybody. I was like, don't tell anybody at all. I was like, you can't speak of this.
Well, the cat's out of the bag. It's out of the bag.
Because it's Nostr, and we talk about Nostr. We talk about Nostr development specifically, and how we want this to grow. And I don't know. First of all, what's your why, though? What is your? Obviously, you put 3 years into this.
Yeah,
but what's your why?
So why do I want this app to help kick off
Yeah, why do
and
you want
jumpstart everything?
why do you want Nostr to be mainstream, first of all? Like, I know we want the app to take
Well,
off, but why
I
Nostr?
think that having the freedom to communicate and the freedom over your attention and the freedom over your content and the freedom of being able to have control of your identity. I think all that's important.
It is
And
important.
legacy social media, the applications we've used for the past 20 years, do not have any of those. None whatsoever.
None.
They're the exact
You know what?
opposite.
You just made me think of a question, and I went crawling all over the internet to look up what people were saying about dViine. Went all over Twitter, LinkedIn, you name it, Reddit. I waded into Reddit, which is an angry place.
It is.
But most people seem very, very happy and nostalgic that it is back, right? And then there was one question that I actually wanted to direct at Derek Ross, because I actually
Oh, I'm ready.
started writing a response to it and kind of went, okay, this is not the most important subject right now, because there's so much about dViine that we could talk about in relation to Nostr and what it does and why dViine is going to be so important for the internet. But I did see one person on Twitter, and I went back to try and find this later and I couldn't, so who knows what happened to it. But somebody said, wow, look at Rabble's politics, right? Is this going to be an app that leans in that direction? And I was like, oh my God, that's so not what Nostr does. But this is what people think, right? Because, Blue Sky is one way, Twitter is one way, Truth Social is one way, Facebook, I don't know, does Facebook have a political leaning? I don't know. But the point being
it's
is
boomer
that
politics on
boomer
Facebook,
politics. I think there
yeah.
was. I watched this whole thing go on for the last 3 years because I worked in social media marketing and did a certain newsletter for a while. And every Twitter alt that came along had a political leaning, and most of them were leaning a certain way. And they all died out and they didn't make it, right? So, like, I think Nostr had this connotation of being a Twitter alt for a while. And I think, when you were talking about building on Nostr, I think people might think that there's going to be a certain political leaning. But can you explain why that's actually not the way the app would be, or any Nostr app would be?
So the way that Nostr works at its fundamental level, you can configure the servers or communities that you join. There's always going to be a default, but if that community essentially doesn't fit you, or you don't feel like you fit that community, you can join various other ones by adding different relays and joining those relays and posting your content to that relay. Or if you're a content creator, you can have your own relay and send all of your content to your own relay. So we could have a dozen, if there is a dozen, different political leanings and different areas of belief, and it doesn't matter because everything is open, and you can change at the drop of a hat, and move to as many of them if you want to.
I think the right word is configurable. Like,
Yeah.
if you want a certain political leaning, you could certainly do that.
Sure.
You certainly choose that for yourself. And if you don't care, like I do, I want to see everything. Like, show me all of it.
If you want to spin up heatherseechochamber.com and only have Heather's stuff on there, and everybody decides, I like Heather's Echo Chamber, they can all join Heather's Echo Chamber, and you'll just get all the cat videos, right? Like, you can do that if you want to. Music and cats.
We talked before on the podcast once about how I did break my echo chamber by bringing in all of the topics and all of the politics and things I don't like, so I could break it.
And that's but that's what Nostra's about.
Yeah.
You can be open with your views, opinions, thoughts, communication.
Yeah.
And since you have the freedom to communicate, it just doesn't matter as much anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I really, I see all different kinds of speech and beliefs in my feed.
Mm-hmm.
And
me too.
I interact with it all because that's how the real world fucking works.
And my interaction with somebody's whatever content, I don't care. Like, my interaction is not an endorsement, and it doesn't mean that I agree with them one way or the other. And that works both ways. Just because people are interacting with me doesn't mean they endorse my crazy cat ladiness or whatever I'm ranting about in the moment, which could be anything about the Phoenix Suns or like cooking.
That's what you could do.
meat or
You could
something, I don't
start
know.
a Phoenix Suns relay, a
That would
Phoenix
be
Suns
amazing.
community that is
Just a
just like
basketball
vines
one.
about. It's just vines about the
See,
Phoenix Suns.
that would be like if Vine, if dViine Vine, I keep calling it if dViine takes off, it would be real for me once like Grayson Allen gets on dViine. That would be especially or his right quad at least.
Dude, I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah, you
So-
don't watch the sports ball, do you? Well, he hurt
Well,
his right quad.
It depends on the sports ball. I'm not really a fan of
Okay.
basketball.
Well, Grayson Allen had the game of his life the other night, and then all hell broke loose, and he
Sounds like
busted
you're
a
saying
right quad.
Grace and Allen.
No,
like-
Grayson. Grayson is his first name.
Grayson,
Allen is
gotcha.
his. So yeah,
Grayson. Okay,
one
gotcha.
night he's on top of the world.
All
And
right.
he's
I-
just killing
know,
it. The next day he's injured.
The
So
only
I've been
basketball I
praying for
cared
him.
about was my daughter's when she played basketball. And
Oh yeah, that's true.
yeah,
It's all about the kids.
yeah, she moved on to soccer now. So
But yeah, when Grayson Allen is
no,
on
I care about
dViine,
soccer.
I do like soccer. I love me some Messi. Love me some Messi. I just haven't had time to watch too much sports, so I've had to funnel it down into just my love of the Phoenix Suns right now. So they should be on dViine.
Did you do it all for the Vine 10 years ago? Were you
did.
a Viner?
I don't remember. When Vine came out, I was not yet sober, so those memories are a little muddy. And then as Vine took off, I do have memories of creators that I followed. I don't know that I would have posted much video content. I would have been on the air at a hip hop station in Wichita, Kansas at that point in time. So who knows what's on my old Vines. If they are alive and well somewhere, it might be hip hop content. I don't know. But I was a big fan of Lele Pons.
Vine came out around what, 2013, 14,
I think
15?
it was 2014 was probably its heyday. I think it came out in 2013. I don't remember.
So back then I was all about Google Plus. And
oh, that's right.
I had deleted or disabled all of my other social media, kind of like what I did for Nostr, I guess.
That's funny.
and I didn't post anywhere for years because I wanted Google Plus to succeed. So whenever Vine came out, I didn't do the Vine. I think I can remember installing the app and maybe scrolling a feed and thinking, this is weird. They're just 6-second videos. And
no,
then
I loved Vine. I was sad when
and then I went back to Google Plus and hung out with my fellow nerds there. Like,
oh, I was on Google Plus too. I actually liked that back in the day too. But no, that my Vines, I for the safety of the world, I hope they're gone because there's a good chance I'm drunk in them.
So, well,
old.
if any of your drunk Vines or any of the top 100 or 200,000 Vines, then there's a good chance it might exist. So that's what Rabble did.
I would leave them there.
Rabble went to the Internet Archive and basically said, hey, you archived as many Vine videos as you could back in 2019 before it got shut down. Can I have those?
Yeah.
And so we have all these Vines, and
it's kind of amazing.
For historical, nostalgia, I think it's cool. And
well, that's the best part is because that was a point in time, but I think before the world really changed. I mean, anything pre-2020, right? Like those were good times. Now, so I want to see that again.
I've been watching some of them because a lot of them are new to me, but it's also kind of funny where I've seen these in GIF format. And I'm like, oh, I've seen that.
No, I was a big fan of Lele Pons. I loved all of her comedy videos and followed her for years, after that, because there was just nothing like those little 6-second comedy skits where
I'm gonna
she's
be honest
throwing the
with
girl
you.
in the pool. Like,
I had no clue who she was until about 6 hours ago when I Googled her.
Really?
Yeah. Never heard of her before.
Too. Yeah, she put out some music in the heyday there. I Googled her too to see where she is now, and she's a mom now. She's married. She's got a baby. Baby or kid.
Coincidentally watched a couple of her Instagram reels, just said in my deep dive of who is this person. an early Viner, and I saw, yeah, she had a baby recently, and she was posting some funny videos. As somebody that is, watched my wife do some of these things as a mom, I
Right?
kind of laughed and thought they were good. They were good
Yeah.
videos. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
great.
it would
Yeah.
be cool to have her content back on
Bring a lot of
someday.
those people. Liza
Yeah,
Koshy was another favorite of mine. I
I
like
don't know who that
that.
is.
Oh, really? Oh
I
my
didn't
God,
do
you
it.
you
I
you didn't
didn't
do
do
any
the
of them.
Vine. I
It's
didn't do it
funny,
for the
like,
Vine. I don't know who they are.
you
I'm
know what's funny
sorry.
about you? Like you and I, if you put us together, there's a full internet brain. Like we're chronically online people, and like we're into different things. Like you send me gifts, and you're like, "Haha, this is so funny," and I'm like, "I've never seen this before." And then like,
Different corners of the internet,
right,
Heather.
we
Different
have different
corners of the
lives.
internet.
We balance each other out.
But you know what's really cool is I may not have done it for the Vine back in the day, but now I'm all about the dVine. So I'm
Yeah,
going
you
to
were
do it
on
for the
there making
dVine.
some content,
Yeah.
which
You
was
know
funny.
what? And I'm mostly testing the app that I'm
Oh, yeah.
working on. But I'm doing these like status update styles, and my daughter comes walking in. She's 14. She comes walking in and she's like, "Dad, nobody wants to see that." I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "They only want to watch funny videos." And I was like, what do you mean?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, my friends and we've been talking on, Instagram or TikTok. They're all talking about watching funny videos on Vine. People, that's all people want." And I was just like, "Get out of my room. Get out of here."
That's what Vine was all about. It was about there's a lot of good content on. There's even new creators making current content, always referencing doing it for the Vine. But man, like there's just some good like
Well,
I
it
I don't know
sounds
what
like
to
there's
do.
a whole community. It sounds like there was a whole
Yeah,
community that was
the whole
kind of
world.
lost,
That was
right?
a
Like,
good time in the internet too. Like
well,
we
then
got to
it's
bring it
good to bring it
back.
back. It's good to bring back the good times, the good content for nostalgia, but it's also good to bring back that community because it sounds
Yeah,
like the community was kind of lost. Like a piece of our history was lost. So
yeah. It was a
I'm
sad loss
happy
for
to
the
do it
internet.
for the dVine.
Yeah, if anybody finds my test account, it's just like me posting pictures of my cats or videos of my cats for Derek.
I want to know if I had ever posted anything. I don't remember. I
I
just
can't
don't.
imagine what I would have posted. It would probably be stuff from the hip hop station where I worked back then. It would
I
probably be
mean,
like random
what would
hip
I have
hop
posted
content.
in 2013, 14, 15? I don't know.
Yeah, it would have been just me at the station probably. Twerking was popular because I used to make a lot of videos. I'd post them on Facebook though of my old morning partner. He'd be like twerking in the studio, and I'd post. He was kind of like you. He did a lot of weird stuff, and I used to just make videos and post them online, and people loved it.
Sometimes you have to do things to make people laugh.
You
But
got to
actually,
twerk.
well, I don't do things to make others laugh. I do it to make me laugh. And as long as I'm laughing, I'm happy. Like,
Sometimes I think you don't mean to make me laugh, but you do.
it's the goal is to transform the dad joke into your whole entire like personality. I think that's the goal.
And wear the cargo shorts and the Skechers.
No, I don't do that. No, those
You
are
don't go that
cringe, man.
far.
I don't do those now. I mean, I did, back when I was doing it for the Vine or not doing it for the Vine, I guess. Like cargo shorts were cool, 15 years ago, but no, I haven't worn those in a long.
I
No,
think
there is one pair that I do wear when I do yard work in the summer because they have lots of
Oh,
pockets in,
those
and I
are the
can put my
ones.
shit in it when I'm doing yard work. And I've had them
Right?
for like
The dad
15,
shorts.
yeah, I had them for like 15 years. They're good dad shorts to do
Yeah.
yard work in, man. I love those things.
The shorts you do yard work in are the most
Yeah.
important shorts.
They are.
You know what I think is going to be fun about dViine is bringing back the authenticity for multiple reasons, not just the way it will get rid of the like AI generated content that people
That's
now,
one of the goals.
They've been
We
very
didn't mention
loud. People don't want to see that, but I think another path to authenticity aside from that is just the format of it, like the 6 seconds, and instead of like you have this. On the other, legacy platforms, you've got unlimited almost anymore, like 3 minutes or more. TikTok, they expanded the amount of content you could. I think you could post 30 minutes. At last check, I don't remember if that was open to all creators, but you could just make long videos now, dude. And so I think paring it back down to 6 seconds and like not having to use InShot or CapCut to be like this influencer and try so hard, and like you got 6 seconds, be creative and have fun. That's what I've noticed with the early videos that we've seen people posting in the dViine app is just like you know what? Creativity is back. Authenticity is back. I really welcome that. Like because human created content with this 6-second parameters is going to be just so much more, I think, creative. I don't know. You've probably seen more videos than I have since you're working more directly with it.
Well, I watched a couple videos from this young guy that doesn't understand what test flight and beta is. He was very angry that some of his stuff didn't work, and he
A
told
frustrated
people
young man.
that they should, go do things to themselves that, they probably shouldn't do. And I was just like, my man, like, that's what beta and test flight means. Like, things are
Yeah.
going to be buggy and not work. And then I saw a couple people that were angry that Jack Dorsey bought Vine and then shut it down and now is financing, bringing it back. And they were like mad. And they came on to dViine just to post that. And I was like, well, okay, well, you didn't have to do that either.
Well, I think that
But you
the
did.
truth is, but I think the truth has many more steps to it, and there's a much more interesting story than that. But
yeah, I gave the quick and dirty,
yeah,
reduced, condensed version because you only have 6 seconds to explain why you're mad. On dViine.
That's true. You got to talk fast. You got to be sharp with the editing, and I've not gotten there yet. So I just make cat videos. By the way,
I'm too old for the editing, man. I can't do that.
You're too old for this. We need to get your daughter to train you.
I know. Well, in some of my tests, I did do a front-facing camera and rear-facing camera just to test the swapping back and forth. But I'm not gonna I saw some dude make a stop animation video where he's had a little claymation thing and he was spinning it around and that was badass. I
Human
thought that was cool.
It's back.
I don't have time for that shit.
You mentioned Jack Dorsey. Did he slide into your DMs yet?
Oh, I forgot about that. No, he didn't.
Derek's like, damn, I should check my DMs.
No, he did not. He's a busy guy. He's probably an episode or two behind on our podcast. So by the end of this month, he'll probably be caught up. You can't stay up to date with every episode that easily. Yeah, so Jack, I totally forgive you. It's probably still sitting in your podcatcher. I get it. In your queue on Fountain. Whatever.
We're in his queue.
I'm here for you, bro.
We're in his queue and he's in your DMs.
I don't even remember why I was making this joke. What's Jack DMing me about?
It was last week's episodes. You had ideas about how to integrate Square with Nostr.
Oh yeah,
or Nostr with Square, and then you were like, yeah, Jack should hear this. He should slide into my DMs. And I'm like, oh my god,
I was shit posting on a podcast, is what you're trying to tell me?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Shit posting. Oh, that's going to be great on dViine. People shit posting on dViine. That's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, that's
going to be great.
We need to think of a hashtag for that.
The dViine shit posting.
dViine shit.
dViine. Oh, so, you know what? What would be our wish list if we could put all of the features we want into dViine? What would our dViine wish list be? Coming from our standpoint that we know Nostr things.
Well, I was going to say lists, but Rabble merged lists recently. So we have lists to be able to create, follow lists of people and content. So you can have these different feeds and stuff. I think that's interesting. But I think the number one feature after we get everything stable, I want zaps. I want to be able to zap creators. I want to be able to send and receive zaps.
Man, I would zap Lele Pawns. I would just to be a fan, just to be a cool fan. That'd be fun.
Well, think how cool that is for creators. I mean, sure, they might have millions of followers and they already have deals on TikTok and deals with Instagram and stuff. But
what if they didn't need to?
What if they didn't need to have deals and contracts? They could just get paid without having to go through an intermediary.
This could change everything.
It really could, and that's why I'm so gung-ho on this. That's why I haven't slept for days and been, burning the midnight oil, as I said, relatively speaking, working for many, many hours on this because it's huge. It has a lot of ripples that could happen for Nostr, and I believe that with Nostr and open protocols, one success means they can all succeed. It's the saying that, that all ships rise, with
A
the same
rising
high
tide lifts
tide.
all boats. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
my favorite.
exactly. So
You
I
know,
really think that's the
I could
case.
see it.
Once people start using a new app, maybe they're like, hey, what is this Nostr thing that we've seen some people talk about? And then maybe they start looking into some other apps too. I think it has a cascading effect. I think that the time is ripe, and I think that we need to handle this well,
A lot of
do
things are
well,
converging. Mm-hmm.
and not fail. I think this is kind of like an all hands
This is why we're
on
not sleeping.
deck. Yes, this is an all hands on deck situation. And Rabble realized that last Friday. Like him and I were talking in DMs last Friday, and he basically said, "Hey, I need some help. This is turning into a thing." And we kind of like rallied the troops, and our team, Soapbox, took that call, and we all started busting our butts working
Pitching
on
in.
this
Yeah.
more than it was honestly very inspiring and very just it just made it just a wonderful feeling, like feeling very,
It
very
was
bullish on not
warm
just
and
Soapbox, but
fuzzy.
Nostr. Warm and fuzzy feeling to
There,
see all of us
yeah.
take this call and start working. And then, what, 2 days later, maybe on Sunday, I think it
Sunday.
was, Rabble realized, hey, this is bigger than
Yeah, that was
the
Sunday.
the half a dozen of us that are working on this. We need even more help. And he put the call out on Nostr, and
And
he
when
he
else could we
asked,
have done that, right? Like,
yeah.
at what other point in time could we have been this open source, this well versed with Nostr development that is a thing that we did?
And there was a lot of people that stepped up. A lot of people came and they offered services. They
Dude, it was like
offered
an
to run
army.
servers. They
It was like
offered to
people
run
enlisted. It was amazing.
eh, run infrastructure.
A bunch of DevOps folks.
Be a bunch of DevOps folks.
It's a labor of
but
love.
but
And if your mother told you that your open source software love was never going to get you anywhere, you can tell her she is
yeah,
wrong.
yeah, Mom.
When your parents are like, I don't know what you do for a living. I make software. It's open source. It's freedom software. It's freedom tech. And your mom was
if
like,
you want to work if you want to do the freedom tech, we got you.
I grew up in the Bay Area, so like you had to be an engineer or a doctor, right? Or maybe a lawyer, like those were the routes. But if you were going to be a software engineer, you had to grow up and go work at Oracle or Google. Like nobody was encouraging open source software development. If you were a good nerd kid and you wanted to write code, nobody was telling you to go be open source when you grew up. It was definitely go work at one of the big companies in Silicon Valley,
do it from the
Cupertino.
inside type thing.
You can work at Apple or you can work at Google, and that was the options that were laid out for us. Like this is a whole new world that is available where people can work collaboratively and open source and work on Nostr. And dViine is like the first amazing thing to pop up out of that, and not at all to not to poo-poo the apps that have come before it, because there are still tons of brilliant ideas out there. Like I would love to see, for me, my wish list for dViine would be have it work with things like Wavelake and Fountain. What kind of music can I jam into 6 seconds, right? That would be cool too.
You could have, in the future, there could be all sorts of integrations, right? Like you could visit a creator's profile, and they would have their online store, their marketplace there for items they're selling.
It could be a Nostr e-commerce store, like we talked about last week.
That's what I meant. It's a NIP99 Nostr marketplace, because we have that. We have marketplaces through the Nostr spec NIP99, or it could be music, like you said. You could go to a musician's profile, and it's click here to play my most recent track or something like that. You click on it, and it plays from their Wavelake or Fountain profile, or
what
something
else
like that.
would be cool? Like if you do some blogging, some long form writing, and maybe you
kind of like Substack, kind of, right? Like you go
like
to you go to the creator's profile, and it's like click here to see their latest article, and
that would be cool.
No, and it's all Nostr, because Nostr supports that, right? It supports music, it supports articles, blogs, it supports stores. everything.
You could have all of this kind of wrapped up into one app, or like at least maybe
Well,
not in one app, like an everything
It
app,
doesn't
but
need
like
to be a super app. I think.
it would be like linked in your profile, maybe,
Well,
because
it,
like
I'll say an external link, but that's not really the right terminology because
no,
it's still Nostr, but it's external to the dViine app. Because I
yeah,
don't think that you would want to build all that and do
yeah,
feature
like it
creep and
wouldn't
feature
be
bloat.
in diViine,
But
but
you
like if
could
you
link.
if you look at
You could
my
link to the latest article. You tap it, it opens up in your Nostr e-reader, or whatever.
yeah, like if I use, for example, if I testing the diViine app, I used my real NPub to log into the web version of the diViine. diViine. I don't know how to word
Oh,
it. But I
that
used that, and I was like, well,
yeah.
let's see how because I have a ridiculously long profile because you can on Nostr. So I was like, let's see what it looks like. If I put my NPub in and look. It looked like a big paragraph, like no line breaks or anything, like which is how I have it really in real life. But you know what? Like if you want that long, profile, like I have,
Well,
you can do it on Nostr. That's
I
how it
think
works.
the guy working on mobile. He might be able to make that look better for you.
I might know a guy.
You might know a guy.
I might
You
let him
know,
know my input.
another thing here, Heather, on my wish list. When you said you logged in with your main account, I immediately thought, oh, I put my NSEC in too. I don't want to do that. I don't want to log in with NSEC.
You want
So
the signer.
I want Bunker, I want Amber signer support. So,
You know what?
I
I
want
don't.
that. And
I've never
since I
used the
know a
bunker.
guy,
You know a guy. You know a guy.
maybe I can add that at some point.
I think if when Nostr takes off, I think NSEC management is going to be important. I think social media management is going to be important.
That
and being able to
that actually is part of the app roadmap to do this. dViine wants to run a KeyCast bunker server, basically, so then people can sign in with traditional username and password type stuff.
Yeah. And then
But on the back end, it's literally keys. It's what we use today. So you'll have the username and password for people that want that, and then you'll have the keys for people that
some people are going to
don't.
need that. Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say if we're going to do dViine and it's going to take off and people are going to care about Nostr, the next thing that we need is a social media management kind of software, like a third-party social media management software, because people are going to want to manage their vines. They're going to want to manage the brand Vine. They're going to want to manage influencer vines, and Nostr just does not yet have a social media management app that works for post scheduling. Analytics are a whole other story. I don't want to get into that because that's going to be the weeds and talking about relays and facts and metrics and analytics. I don't want to go there. But just being able to kind of manage your social media, maybe have some semblance of metrics, but be able to schedule posts for later, and maybe see how they perform to some degree. So you could, calculate your ROI in marketing as a marketer, and also have a team that works on your brand account. That is something that Nostr needs very badly.
I think that something like that was, I don't remember the conversation, who or why it was mentioned, but on the roadmap it was something like, at some point, we need to have on dViine have the ability to have multiple accounts, so you could sign into your brand account, or if you're managing social media for somebody,
I
something like
signed
that.
into multiple accounts using Primal because that's the only thing that I know that can do that. But then
Primal supports it,
NoteDeck
supports it, Nostr supports it, Amethyst supports it. There's a lot of multiple accounts nowadays.
Yeah, so that's
Nostrudel on the web as well.
Yeah, so like we're gonna get there, but it's still, I think Nostr's today anyway feels like the wild west, and people may not have grasped the entirety of what's at stake, what it fixes. There's a huge story here about tons and tons of open source devs working day jobs and then coming home at night and working on this for years.
Ultimately, though, Heather, people don't need to know that.
They don't
You
need
know,
to know that. Somebody will want to know that, though.
Some people, but the average person, they just need to know that it's the cool new sexy thing. And
Exactly. The mainstream folks just want to be able to post vines and laugh at them and have their old Vine back in 2025.
you know that there's a
2026.
lot of people that are old Viners that want their old accounts back, and we're gonna have a way to
That's gonna be cool.
to verify that they're authentic. It's really them based on
It's
their
like a
other
time
social media
capsule.
profiles, and like give them access to like their old like stuff.
We're bringing sexy back.
Well, that's what dViine did,
It's divine. But yeah, there's a lot of fun things we could say like that, but it's exciting. It's Nostr's moment, and we don't need sleep.
And we're here for it. And we
made it.
Heather, we're blessed to be working on it. It's
we were never going to give up.
Really cool.
We were never giving up at all.
What a 3-year anniversary present, right?
Right, because it was about this time of year when it kicked off.
December 13th. So I got another like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that.
That's cool. Yeah, it'd be my 2-year anniversary of actually posting on it. I think I joined in February 2023.
Were you a lurker?
Oh, I lurked because I didn't get it at first. Back then it was a little rough back then. Let's be honest. And I was like, what am I doing here? And it took me a while when I moved, because I've been back in Phoenix for 2 straight years. So that's kind of when I started. I had some extra time on my hands, and so I spent a lot of time on Nostr about starting 2 years ago, and then I started meeting all of you fine folks. I don't remember when I met you at first, because everybody meets Derek Ross. He is the welcome wagon of Nostr. If you show up on Nostr, he's going to give you a fire hose of information, maybe a video that he's in.
Jeff Booth, when we were in Helsinki, he was talking on stage, and he called me Walmart's greeter. Sorry, not Walmart's greeter. He called me Nostr's greeter, like Walmart has.
Now I know what your retirement job is going to be. Walmart greeter. You're going to be that little old man.
No,
like, hey,
that was a little bit of.
I was the Nostr CEO.
No, that was a Freudian slip because 3 years ago, I forget somebody called, like, Jack Dorsey used to welcome everybody to Nostra. The first 2 months on Nostra,
he was the original welcome wagon.
He was the original greeter, and somebody called him a Walmart greeter. I forget who.
That would be funny.
Yeah, that's why I said that. But no, it's a Jeff Booth saying that I was, I was the new greeter.
The Nostr greeter.
Jack has big shoes to fill. I'm trying.
Yeah, that's what my friend Meredith says. She says, I'm always going to love Derek Ross because he welcomed me. He was the first person to welcome me to Nostr. And of course.
I started doing that because on Nostr, most applications don't have an algorithm to bring new content forward, and user discovery could be
no
a lot
algorithms,
better.
Really. Yeah.
And and people kind of post into the void, and they're like, hey, hi, is anybody out there? And then nobody responds. So we had
content too.
We had ways to find people.
Mm-hmm.
We had specific relays that would literally look for posts from new accounts. And that was kind of like a hack to be able to use this algorithm relay that someone from Nostr.wine developed, 2.5 years ago. And if you added that relay to your client, you could get new people.
I'll cruise the global
really
feed,
cool.
Which is scary. Don't cruise the global feed like I do, but I'll find people that way. And I search for things all the time. I use Nostr's, search function, obviously. And I found a really cool one recently because I'm always looking for Shakespeare things since that's our product. And so I looking for Shakespeare. I found this woman. She posts every day this cool, she's got a homemade tarot card and some things about herbs and this journal thing and this gorgeous handwriting. And it's just this nice aesthetic thing. If you're a visual person and you're into aesthetics and journaling and she's got a fountain pen going on and it's just it's one of those things where it's oh, I gotta just follow this person. I don't know if she's ever going to talk to me or anything, but that's not the point. I just want to see this cool thing in my feed every day. This is cool, and so I'm starting to find more random stuff like that on Nostr, and like every once in a while I find somebody who posts content that I find compelling, and I'll be like, hey, I see you're like posting from Mastodon or some Fediverse thing using some bridge, and you probably never log on to Nostr, but your content's there and it's really zappable, and I would like to zap you. So if you ever log into Nostr, please set up your wallet and let me know so I can zap you. And like those people never email me back because I probably sound like a crazy stalker, but but I do stuff like that in hopes that people will be like, that it catches on a little bit more. And that's the grassroots thing that we've been doing for the last couple of years, is trying to find people who can benefit from Nostr. I've emailed people like journalists who got kicked off of a platform. Like I've
done
cold
that.
emailed. Yeah. Like,
We
probably sound crazy.
Probably a dozen people. We maybe even emailed the same people. I've emailed at least a dozen people, and I've contacted half a dozen apps that are smaller. I'll say like smaller user base that I use that I like, trying to get them to, migrate their app to Nostr.
So yeah, not for lack of trying.
None of them have done it yet.
In the
but you
end,
know what?
What?
They're going to. In the end, everybody uses Nostr, because
if you're one of those people, check your inbox, check your spam box. You got emails waiting for me and Derek trying to get you onboarded and setting up your wallet so we can zap you.
It's not so much about the zaps. I mean, it is, I guess, at the end of the day, but because freedom money loves freedom communication. But I think it's just about giving the users control. Something that we aren't used to having online.
Giving control back to the public.
I think that is the largest takeaway for when someone says, what is Nostr? I think it's a way to give control back to the people.
Yeah. It's the keys are back in the kingdom, baby. Like, and the funniest thing is, like, I haven't finished reading it yet, but I've been reading Tim Berners-Lee. This is for everyone. That's the title of
that.
Yeah, I'll have to read it, and I'll mail it to you when I get done with it, because I have the hardcover, and it's so surreal to be reading Tim Berners-Lee while we're doing this, where like he talks about coming up with HTTP. He talks about like how he came up with the URL and the steps and why he did it that way, and how like he made this thing, the World Wide Web. Like he built the internet working at CERN, and his off time or side time there, and he was working on this thing, and he intended it to go in a certain direction, and it was like he was just trying to get people to like link up their computers at CERN, and then it turned into URLs. He was really into hyperlinks, and the way he thought so deeply about it, and it's just fascinating to read this while I watch everybody, because I'm not a dev, and I'm watching you guys work on these Nostr apps.
I think it would be cool to read, because I was the web is for 1994, so I was 14 years old. I mean, I remember what web pages were like when I was 14, 15, 16 years old. And I think it'll be really cool to kind of revisit that and read that book. Yeah, I'm excited.
We are of, I'm slightly older than you, but we are of the age of, not by much, but we're almost the same age. I just happen to be the older one, the older sibling here. And we have lived through like all of this. Like this has happened in our short little lifetimes. We're middle-aged folks. And now we're kind of having our turn to have some input, and anybody can join Nostr and join what we're doing. In fact, you're more than welcome to. Please, we could use more hands, here helping out for sure. But Nostr gives you a voice. It will not silence you. It will not censor you. It will not cancel you. It will not deplatform you. Like there's so much creativity to be had here. Yeah, that's the magic of it. And so like I don't know, watching one of the original fathers of the internet like talk about protocol, like at night I'm like reading Tim Berners-Lee, and then I wake up and I'm like watching you guys do this thing with a protocol and like
Heather,
building.
You're like a dev that doesn't write code. You vibe the code.
I'm vibe coding, man. But you learn little things as you go. And like, this has been a very educational year for me, because of the AI assisted coding that I never would have been able to do some of the things that I've been able to do, and learn some of the, if you told me a year ago, I'd be trying to learn Git, I would be like, like I used to write about it and working at tech companies. I used to write about it, but without understanding it because, devs would do things and copy would come down to me and I'd be like, okay, I'll write something about this and put it out in the world. But I never had the desire for years to learn about some of the things I'm learning about right now. And if it wasn't for Shakespeare and AI and all the things that we do at Soapbox and the tools that we provide so people can have some choice and freedom and own their data again, if we weren't doing this, if I'd gotten here, it would have taken years, not months or less than a year. You know what I mean?
I'd like to say that once you have the opportunity to experience, freedom technology, it really clicks with you and it changes your perception on a lot of different things.
And in life
It's
things
it's
too.
yes, it's hard to see outside your social circle. It's hard to see
Mm-hmm.
outside your purview. But if you can kind of see and understand what these tools can mean for the larger group of people around the world, it's really changing. It really is.
I'll tell you what, one of the lights that is turned on for me is I've worked remotely for ages. I worked remotely before it was cool, like in the early 2000s. And we didn't even have tools back then, people.
Before
We
you
didn't
had
have
a virus
Slack.
that made you work remotely, like
Yeah, we had
everybody else.
nothing. we had Skype. Like we still had to do math for
Skype,
time
ugh.
zones. Oh yeah, it was the times were rough back in the day, son. But one thing that has turned on the light is like you think collaboration until you get into open source world and then you see how all of these people who are building on Nostr, how everyone's collaborating across time zones, GitHub, GitLab. I love opening up my GitHub to see what everybody did today and see what people are working on. And that's it's fascinating to me. And just watching our team that's scattered around the world and how we collaborate and then how people who don't even work for us want to just pop in and do things and help. And it's more altruistic than it is like, hey, like I need a job and give me money. It's more like, oh my God, I'm fascinated with this idea. I want to do this. Somebody at Soapbox is doing this thing. I should I should help them out. And like, I'm just like, damn, like people are so freaking cool. This is so awesome. Like the way the community pulls together to maybe build an app or solve a problem you have no idea if there's going to be any benefit to you when you sign up to help somebody with their project, but you just may know something that they don't and you just want to help them. Like that's the passion that I haven't seen that from people in a long time. Like a lot of people get very territorial and like you just don't see that in this space. Like people just really want to move ideas forward and help other people. And I freaking love it. It's just so cool.
It's the freedom to build whatever you want. And developers can work together, collaborate, and still essentially build whatever they want. Because if they don't collaborate, then they're building their own thing. And then if
In
another developer
silos.
says,
Yeah.
hey, I like what you built, I have an idea to improve it, or I'd like to work on it, they can. And they
Yeah.
can go back and forth and collaborate, that way. If you look at, any GitHub out there that has all these contributors, at one point it was somebody said, hey, that's a cool project, I'd like to help, or hey, that's a cool project, I have a feature that I want to add, something along those
Yeah.
lines. And it's, working for the greater good. It's, hey, that's a cool idea, I want to be part of it, or hey, that's a cool idea, I want to make it better, or I think I can help out in some way, some
The speed
shape or
of
fashion.
things this year, development has accelerated this year because
Yeah.
of AI coming in and so many
Everybody's a developer now. You should
I
see
know
my
anybody,
GitHub.
even me.
My GitHub is so colorful right now.
Yeah. I looked at mine today. I hadn't logged on for a while, and logged in today, and didn't realize that like things I was making in Shakespeare like actually had pushed, and
Yeah.
and they're just
Like,
sitting there, and I was like, oh, like anybody can see this. Anybody can do this.
yeah.
This is the whole point.
So I'm
You know,
looking at my GitHub right now, and
is it all green?
you can tell when I started to vibe code. Like the snapshots a year, and it's light
Wow.
green. It's light green
I'm gonna look at your GitHub.
with like 2 or 3 darker green. Or I'm sorry, the wrong color. It's mostly all dark green. Then there's a little bit lighter green, like 2 or 3 times over the year.
December 5th of last year.
Well, yeah, so that was me actually working on something December 5th and 7th, and again I worked on something again
And then
in
you
January.
light up in April, like, woo!
But then in April, there's something weird that happens from April until November.
What happened on April 21st, Derek? I'm looking at your GitHub.
Derek discovered GitHub. I'm sorry. I mean, Derek discovered vibe coding. April. Yeah. What day did I first? April 21st.
It looks like it's April 21st. Oh my God.
April 21st. Derek discovers vibe coding, and his GitHub is bright green.
I'll tell you what.
Since.
What was November 16th? Was that was Saturday? Was because boy, you had 10 contributions on November 16th.
November 16th.
Was that? Yeah. That was Sunday. That was Sunday.
Oh.
That was.
Yeah, that's because I was blowing shit up with dViine. I was on fire that day.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You know what? If
anyways,
this is good stuff.
We're getting too nerdy here. We're getting too nerdy.
We are huge freaking nerds, man. Like we're terrible.
All right, let's bring it back here. Bring it back and let's talk about some boosts. We had some boosts from friends of the show.
You know what? I love the boosts because that's like our report card. Like, are we doing okay? Shout out to Eric FJ. He's listening. He
doubling down.
Big old boost.
I like it.
22 sats. He says, let's purple pill all the spouses. That's because I mentioned last week that I was like, hey, dude, did you purple pill your wife? Can I follow her?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Well, yeah,
so
we need more wives. You know,
more wives.
Need all the spouses on the Nostr.
We're about to get millions of them. I'm hoping. So, and then Tim.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah, Tim says, so my app Nostr feeds pulls data but does not post, but it's a feed reader which has no reason to post, but it provides for reading and categorizing NIP21 content. So it's not a Nostr app?
Well,
that's a good question.
So,
I mean, if there's a NIP involved, right?
It categorizes NIP21 content. What is NIP21? I should know this off the top of my head. 21
Nostr
is
Hub?
what?
I don't know. That's a good number though for
21
for
is URI schemes. Oh, so it does what?
I don't think you have to post in order to be a Nostr app though.
Well, that's what we were saying. No, that was part of the he's calling me out because I said this in one of our episodes that if you don't send data to the Nostr network and you only consume, then are you really a Nostr app?
We will argue for years about what really truly constitutes a Nostr.
You know what, Tim?
I'm going to just agree with Tim.
I'm going to say that you're reading and categorizing, but are you publishing notes back to the network? I don't know. You're interacting with the data. So you're saying if I write a bot to scrape Nostr data, is that a Nostr bot? I guess it is.
You did build a bot.
I did build a bot. Yeah, you know what, Tim? It is Thanksgiving, and I'm thankful for you for building on Nostr. Keep building your Nostr app. I like it.
I think if it has a NIP, it's a Nostr app, which is not what a Nostr improvement proposal. Am I saying it right?
Nostr implementation possibility.
All right. See, I make up my own words. I make up my own meaning for things. That's just how I rock, man. All right, Derek Ross, I'm calling you out. You have sent a boost to our podcast again. He says, well, I don't know how many
I'm going to tell you what. I didn't actually boost. I shared the episode link, and Fountain counts that as a boost. Yeah.
Oh, that's why. I was like, because I don't see the sats. But okay, you said the Soapbox
There was no
Sessions. Nut November episode is experiencing NGU like I've never seen before. Bullish.
NGU,
on November 14th.
Nut go up technology.
Oh my God. And that's the end of the podcast, folks.
No, we did. I don't know if last week, because of the Dev Wars conversation that we had, or because we talked about Cashew and Nut November, and we had Nut November.
We
and
had the gossip. We had the gossip about the
Yeah.
Dev Wars.
So
and
either
and
people really
are-
care about Nut November or they really care about the gossip. I don't know which, but it was our most popular episode yet.
People
So
are into
thank you.
cashew.
Thank you for listening. Oh yeah, cashew's super hot right now.
There's actually like it's so hot right now. I wanted to find it because I can't remember
It's
off
like
the top of my head. But they're doing I don't know if it's not a hackathon. I think there's like a contest. If
The
you go to the
Wadathon?
cashew Twitter. What? Oh,
You
I
mean
found it.
Nut November? Yeah, this
It's,
is really the content. Yeah, it's Nut November.
It's cashew builders and creators. If you're working on wallets, building mint software, creating resources or guides, it's Nut November at a prize pool that's over 500,000 sats on. That's on nutnovember.org. I just saw that come across on Cashew today. We reposted it from the Soapbox Twitter. But yeah, Cashew's supporting some builders. And I love that about this community too. Like if there's a bounty or a prize pool, to support a hackathon, hell yeah. Do it.
Yeah,
Enter.
So people can donate to Nut November to give sats or give nuts to the people that are building and participating. So it's a community funded hackathon. So it's
Okay,
really
now
cool.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're doing
go.
Nut November. You're all about nuts this month. Show them your nuts, Derek. But okay, I found 2 nut fruit. What do you freaking call them? I have a mini bits and I have a macadamia. They're nut wallets. Cashew wallets?
Cashew wallets. Yeah, you can store your nuts in them.
Okay.
Macadamia is a
Store my
iOS only cashew wallet. I've never used it because I don't do the
I
Apple.
got one up on you, brother.
But I have used Mini Bits for the past year or so. Mini Bits is a good app.
I like Mini Bits. There was one that I had before that I lost in the phone change of February that was like it had a squirrel on it.
Yeah, I can't. E-Nuts. Was that what it was called?
Yeah, I think it was E-Nuts. Okay, yeah, I lost my E-Nuts.
Yeah. I used E-Nuts for a little bit just to play around with when it first came out. But
there weren't that many sats in there.
Mini Bits has been the one that I've used the most. But for the past 18 days, I've been using cashew.me, the web wallet. That's what I've been using.
Cashew.me. Okay, so what have we learned so far from Nut November in 18 days, Derek?
Honestly, I don't see any difference between using my Lightning node or using Strike or Primal Wallet or something.
That's fair.
It works literally just as good for me. I get zaps directly to my Cashew wallet. And if I get some fat zaps, I can take the fat zaps and send them to my Lightning node if I want to. I have all of my apps configured to do Nostr Wallet Connect through the cashew.me wallet. So I have like Wave Lake set up to do that. I have Amethyst set up. I have Primal. I have NoteTech. They're all set up to do zaps through the cashew.me wallet. And it works great. I would never notice a difference.
Yeah, there's a marketing opportunity for Cash App here to Cashew.
Cashew app.
Cash App with Cashew built in would be cool.
Maybe.
I still Cash App everything.
Why don't you send your buddy a DM?
Jack can slide into my DMs so I can tell him to put Cashew and Cash App. Like I'm sure somebody's thought of that already. That may have just occurred to me.
Maybe.
I'm the slow part of the audience here, but I think he knows that already.
So I know we're running out of time here, but I think because it's the season to be thankful, and if you're using the Nostr, you may have noticed a reason to be extra thankful this week, and that is the health red.
We have to explain to the normal people
we have to mention.
They're coming in Nostr. They're going to be showing up, getting curious about Nostr. What's a health thread, Derek?
Well, once upon a time, about 2.5 years ago.
Oh my God, gather around the fire, children.
A woman by the name of Marie from Australia decided to tag all of her friends on Nostr and say why she liked them or what they did.
Wait. When he says tag all of her friends, it's like 200 people. Okay.
Oh yeah, hundreds, and because there's no limit.
Yeah.
To how many people you can tag, at least on most
there's
apps.
like no other social media thing where you can do this, by the way.
But yeah, so Nostr, very open and no limits on anything. She tagged hundreds of people, and then hundreds of people reply, and people's notifications were literally on fire.
It's terrible.
Thread was
we love it.
The thread from hell, aka the health thread.
Yeah.
But it actually was kind of cool because then developers were like, oh shit, we got to have tools. We need to be able to give users the tools to opt out of these things.
Right.
So we fast forward to today, and now you can mute threads. You
Yeah.
can mute people. You can even set up a lot of apps will support configurations where ignore threads that have more than 6 mentions, 12 mentions,
Yeah.
whatever you want to. You can choose your own number on most of these apps.
You can curate
So
your feed.
we didn't have these options and tools and configurable actions, and now we do. So thank you, Marie,
We're grateful
for
to
another
you.
hell thread that she just did
I enjoy the
yesterday
hell
or the
thread.
day before.
She always
A
puts
lot of
me in it.
So yeah, I'm in them all too, and
You're in it.
I love
You and
I
your
love them
200
for the
friends.
nostalgia, but also I know for the next 2 weeks my notifications are destroyed,
That's
and it's
bad.
really hard to
It's
like.
24/7.
I feel like I miss things. So what I do is I use like hell threads don't work on Amethyst, like so
Ha ha.
so I go to Amethyst and then I can actually interact with people. But
There
on
you
Note
go.
Deck that's the app I use on my desktop. It's fucked. Like it's
This is going on. I know. I walked away from my phone. This was the noisiest weekend for my phone in my entire life.
yeah,
It did
well,
not stop for days. I had
it
to
didn't.
leave it on the other side of the house.
I didn't look at my phone for like 4 days. So
Really?
so I missed the hell thread. Like I was working on
had
the
to
dViine
look.
app.
I had to look because you kept asking me for more videos to test, and so I had to keep picking up my phone. I'm like, oh
Well,
my god!
I appreciate you making videos because the features that I were testing, I couldn't
all
test
good.
them myself. So I needed somebody to give me tests. And long
We'll
story
laugh about
short,
this someday.
because of your helping, I was able to fix these bugs, and the app
Did my part.
works better. So thank you. I appreciate
Cat
that.
videos for the win.
Cat videos
always have and always
Cat
will rule the
videos
internet.
will save the internet.
They rule. They rule. The cats rule the house. My cat thinks she rules Phoenix, Arizona, and she needs to be that loud to do it. And one of these days, I'm going to get her on camera, as Derek has probably witnessed this many times working together. But she is the loudest freaking cat on the planet, and if I just capture it on video, like, she will be the top dViine of the day one of these days. Mark, this is my prediction for dViine. My stupid cat that we call Snots. She's going to be a top vine one day. I just got to capture her doing her craziness.
That reminds me of
Snots.
the dog from Christmas Vacation.
She's destined for fame, man. As soon as I catch her with her, like,
Good.
that she does. She's nuts.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to her fame on dViine as we do it for the dViine.
Doing it for the dViine.
I'm excited to see her take her place in history.
Hashtag do it for dViine.
Well, is that going to become a thing? Like, is it just because
I don't know.
I've already seen multiple.
I've
already seen multiple vines, saying "do it for the Vine." I think
one guy went hard on it too. Like he
that
really
was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Jason Potter, I think it was.
He was singing it.
Yeah, he was funny.
I
liked his creativity. I want to see more of that. So yeah, it's up to the folks who use the app what the hashtags become, and
hashtags need to be natural, just like show episodes on podcasts.
Yeah, you can't force it.
No.
It's you just got to let it happen, and it becomes the pop culture moment that it becomes.
Like, I don't even. You know what? Usually by the end of the episode, I know what I want to call an episode, but nothing popped yet. It's going to take a little bit of time whenever we re-listen to it and edit it, I think.
Do it for dViine.
Yeah, that sounds forced. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's just because we're too close to it. We cannot decide.
We are too close to it. Maybe we won't even mention it in the show title. I don't know. All right.
In the house.
Thanks for listening. And if you're listening to this on
Thanksgiving,
Apple's podcast, because I think Apple is one of the most popular episodes.
Oh, you're looking they're looking at the metrics right now, aren't you?
Yeah. Okay. If you are listening to this from unknown Apple app, I assume Apple Podcasts, what you want to do is you want to say, hey, these guys are pretty cool. I'm going to download Fountain and look them up on Fountain and listen to them on Fountain, because then you can join the value for value economy. And if you like what we're saying, we made you laugh, you learned a thing or two about decentralization and AI, you can send us a zap, and that allows us to eat. and we like to
And
eat.
And well, you join the conversation too,
Well, yeah.
which I think
Oh,
is
yeah,
important
yeah.
as
That's the
as
more
well.
important part is
We'll
you can
know
join
who
the
you
conversation.
are.
We will know who you are, and we will read your
Yeah.
boost.
Yeah, and then because if you're just listening on Apple, you have no way of interacting with us. But if you're listening on Fountain, then you can. And also, if it's on YouTube. I should say all of the things that we said in last week's episode. If you actually watch it, well, not all of the things, but a couple of the things we said. Like if you want to see the pictures of our boss dressed as Shakespeare in Brazil, or me with my hot dog on my Japanese hot dog on Santa Monica Pier, if you want to see what the hot dog looked like,
the
I put
hot
that
dog
video in there.
episode.
The hot dog and the Shakespeare, they're in there. They're in the video version.
Good
just
times,
to give you a
good
little
times.
tease.
Thanks for listening. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.